Hello everyone, Rob from DualWield here. You might have noticed that our last video just broke 100 views, and it's climbing by the week. And it's needless to say, I'm a millionaire. Yes, I'm able to afford solid gold Wii remotes that cost $9,000, collector's editions for video games that cost tens of hundreds of dollars, and yet I still have time to make these Game of the Month award videos for you. I know. How amazing. Anyway, let's move on to the June and July edition of the Game of the Month awards. Halfway through the year and halfway through my life expectancy, because being a millionaire, you always have $1 million diseases. So let's carry on, shall we?
I hate so much about the things that you choose to be.
Kickstarter games are always a gamble. There are so many companies out there that always show off some game they're trying to make and boast about how they have developers from a legendary team or a certain developer who worked on a series that everyone loves. People give them money, and sometimes the games, they don't come out so good. Like, they were supposed to take that shit out of the oven in 20 minutes, and they put it in there for 10 and said, nah, it's fine, we can take it out. And it's half-baked now, and it's disgusting, and no one wants it. The difference with Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn is that this game's predecessor isn't even good. This whole game is just like a joke without a punchline. The original Shaq Fu came out in 1994 on the Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, and it was hot garbage. It's named one of the worst fighting games of all time. There's even a website, shaqfu.com, which aims to destroy every known copy in existence. I guess the point of this Indiegogo crowdfunding campaign was to capitalize on this joke, I guess? They claimed that this new Shaq Fu was going to be better and that they wouldn't foo it up, like they said in the trailer. But they did. Like these motherfuckers always do. Never mind all of the perks from the campaign that the studio never followed through with, the game itself is just bad. It's not even a good beat-em-up. There's hardly any variation in enemies, and when there is, and you think there's going to be an iota of a challenge, you kill them in 3 seconds instead of 2 seconds. And they constantly break the gameplay to say some shitty, stale-ass one-liner before moving on to the next section.
It's time you knew my secret.
I seen your browser history. Some things are better left unsaid. Someone slipped off the Jenny Craig wagon.
That's low-hanging fruit.
Looks like you ate all the low-hanging fruit.
Kick that thing's ass, Shaq!
I don't hit women.
Well, I ain't no woman, so let's see what you got, Sasquatch.
I'll show you a Bigfoot.
Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn, like other crowdfunded games, took too long to come out, and by the time it did, it wasn't even worth playing. I didn't buy this game because I value my money and dignity slightly more. Slightly. I at least value it more than a shitty joke being turned into a whole game at the cost of actual money and exploited nostalgia of people who just wanted something good. Shaq Fu: A Legend Reborn is lazy, uninspired, and the worst game of June.
This time we won't fool it up.
Eh.
Eh? What's eh supposed to mean?
Just means eh.
The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit is a kind of point-and-click explorative adventure game from Square Enix set in the Life is Strange universe. You play as Chris, a young growing kid just living his life and doing normal kid shit, who, like any other kid, makes a superhero alter ego of himself, Captain Spirit. This game really captures what it's like being a kid. Even small things like finding a cardboard box to Chris are exciting moments filled with wonder, as he finds this and other random shit around the house to make his superhero outfit. But it also shows how kids are also very aware of the things happening around them. Chris and his dad recently lost Chris's mom, and you can tell in the letters that you find and the conversations Chris has with his dad that this is something that he may not understand, but he does understand what these large events, like having to sell their old home, his dad getting into bar fights, and keeping secrets are, and the gravity that they hold. It's supposed to be a self-contained story, and while it is short, you will experience very real and fleshed out characters and emotions and situations, and you'll laugh and probably cry a little bit too. It's just a fun little game that's a break from all this other high-energy crazy shit for once, and that's a beautiful thing. And that's why The Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit gets the award for OK Game of June.
Beware, Mantroid. Watch out. Captain Spirit is ready for battle.
That is something I've always wanted to say. That was amazing. I love that so much. That was fantastic.
I was waiting for Nintendo to finally wake the fuck up for once. Sony's been over here just demolishing the exclusives month after month, and finally Nintendo comes out of the woodwork with Mario Tennis Aces. This game is fucking intense. Every single tennis match I play, I have no idea what's gonna happen. A lot of the new mechanics like trick shots and zone shots and special shots turn this into more of a fighting game than a tennis game. But holy shit, when you're like 20 rallies in and you and the other guy are literally leaping across the court to get the ball over the net, you feel it. You feel this adrenaline rush when the other guy slips up and his racket breaks on a special shot and you hang suspended in the air and they get pushed to the back of the court. You feel it when you're playing his chain chomp and he balances the ball in his head right before he serves. That's the best thing in any game, and you ain't gonna find that anywhere else. I'll admit the game isn't perfect because the story mode is half-baked and there aren't a lot of customization options that you normally have in a Mario Tennis game when you're doing multiplayer, and the split screen for local multiplayer is kinda stupid. But when it came down to it, I asked myself, what game took up most of my time in June? And the answer, unanimously, was the absolutely bonkers Mario Tennis Aces. That's why it gets the best game of June.
Game, set, and match, receiver.
That idea is terrible.
I haven't watched Adventure Time in like 5 years, but I do know for a fact that the video games have always been kind of half-assed, with the latest entry, Pirates of the Enchiridion, being no exception. A lot of the magic in the show is lost in this game. There's just something very weird and lifeless about the voice acting. Sure, they got all the original voice actors, but there's just something so stale about it.
Sure is pretty. Hey, maybe we'll see another Comet.
Man, I hope not. I don't think I'm emotionally prepared for that.
Huh, that's weirdly convenient.
You know what they say, man. Don't look a gift boat in the mouth. Or something like that.
I don't think they say that.
Yeah, probably not. Let's just take the boat and go.
The game plays out essentially going from one place to the next in a boat, and I guess interrogating the characters from the game, and then doing some very stoic, rudimentary RPG battles as you move from one place to the next. I don't know how you managed to make fighting giant bananas uninteresting, but they nailed it. The movement from place to place is like Wind Waker, but way less fun and interesting. And for the combat, just think of your favorite RPG and dumb it down by 50, and you get Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchiridion. The battles go on forever, and it's just so easy to win. I don't know many RPGs that let you use a healing item and then attack, but then again, what the fuck do I know? I'm not a game developer. It's just impossible to lose, and not only is it impossible to lose, winning takes an eternity, so even the most enjoyable parts of the game are barely enjoyable. That's why Adventure Time Pirates of the Enchiridion gets worst game of July.
What are we gonna do, Finn? This is seriously messed up!
It's straight up dong bongles is what it is.
Pretty good.
I know I should technically be reviewing Banner Saga 3, which is the newest game in this series and technically the one that released in July, but the trilogy came out the same day, and I'm going to keep it 100 with you guys. I haven't gotten to the third one yet, so I'm going to be reviewing the trilogy based on what I've played so far. This is my show, I make the rules. It's not your show, it's my show, okay? Shut up. Banner Saga is a strategy RPG set in a time after all the gods are dead, and the game's world is in what looks like the Ice Age. Its beautiful and hand-drawn animations and cutscenes, coupled with a way more interesting take on the genre, make Banner Saga one of the more interesting strategy RPGs I've played in a while. Essentially, when you attack enemies, you have the option to attack their strength or their armor. Strength serves as their HP, as well as their attack, so breaking that down makes them weaker. But hitting their armor hits their defense, making them rack up more damage when you do hit them. It makes for more interesting combat and adds a layer of complexity to every decision you make, and you're not just flinging a guy into 5 other guys to murder them without consequence. Banner Saga is a very somber and serious game. You will constantly have to make decisions where you hold the life of a character in your hands, and one wrong turn, your guy dies. There's something a bit more chilling and unsettling that characters only have a chance to be gone forever outside of combat, where you'd think you'd lose them. I have restarted entire chapters because I chose the wrong thing and lost a very valuable person as a result. As you progress through the game, you don't really feel like you're getting closer to any goal or making any real progress. It's more so about surviving another day and having the strength to push through these barren wastelands where positive emotions feel like they died with the gods long ago. Banner Saga is a sad and beautiful game that offers something different to the strategy RPG landscape in a good way. That's why it gets OK Game of July.
I'm in a bad way, my friend. Help me finish this fight and I'll gladly send you on your way with double our king's tithe.
Finally, victory is mine. I win! I win! I win!
Bailey and I have been anticipating Octopath Traveler for the better part of a year now, with the expectation that it was going to be one of the best games to come out in 2018. And while it didn't exceed those expectations, it definitely met them. Octopath Traveler is a JRPG exclusively made for the Switch, made by Square Enix. It's made in this gorgeous, more modern rendition of the 16-bit Super Nintendo Final Fantasy III graphic style. Octopath Traveler combines traditional 16-bit sprites and buildings with more contemporary-looking water and shading and lighting effects, with 3D buildings that give them real definition and a very defined depth of field that puts what's in front of you sharp and in focus, and what you may be approaching out of focus that comes more into focus as you move towards it. The whole game has this very picturesque storybook element to its art style, and that coupled with these beautiful melodies in every area of the game, captivate me every time I play it. You follow 8 characters who all have different goals to accomplish, and what's cool about this is their differences in tone. Some of them are kind of tropey, like Primrose wanting revenge from the men who killed her father, but Primrose as a character and how she rises up against her oppressors to achieve that goal is really interesting and something I can root for. Then you have more simplistic characters like Tressa, who's just fucking bored in her hometown and wants to see what else is out there. She's optimistic and fun and cute, and also I love her, and that is also something I'd like to see more of. There are characters like Hannah and Ophelia who, when they talk, just make me want to die.
'Tis not the hunt that concerneth me. Thou intendest to stop and off somewhere along the way. On the last hunt, thou gambledest away thy purse and came back a poorer man than thou left.
But otherwise, most of these characters are pretty cool, despite some of their expositions being kind of tedious. The combat is deceptive in its simplicity, where the game will let you know an enemy will have X amount of weaknesses, but won't tell you what those weaknesses are. You have to analyze your party's different skill sets and figure out your attack patterns to exploit those weaknesses and beat up the bad boys. I think people were expecting these characters to interact with each other along the way, and for the most part they honestly don't. You are more so playing out the stories of each character individually, and while Square Enix promised this would be different than most JRPGs, to put the game aside based on that fact alone would be a disservice to this game's solid combat, beautiful visuals, interesting stories, and addictive nature. That's why Octopath Traveler is the best game of July. And that does it for another Game of the Month Awards video, guys. Thank you so much for watching, if you took the time to get through the whole thing. It was all an act from before. I just want to let you know I'm not a millionaire. I have a very average income, as you can tell by me progressively looking more and more like a homeless person. We are going to have more videos coming. There's going to be videos on the side here. Feel free to watch them if you want. Subscribe if you want to see more. Feel free to hit the bell so you know when we're uploading new stuff. We upload videos every Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and remember to play some video games because you deserve it, and you're worth it.